Salvete, and welcome to a speedy review of impersonal verbs. I've got a little shot of page 151 from your textbook up on the screen. So I just want to make sure you're aware that all these handy about the language sections of your book talk about various grammar that shows up in your stories, and that I wanted to highlight impersonal verbs as we come to the end of stage 28. So we've seen impersonal verbs since Latin 1, back in the day when we learned the verb placet in phrases like mihi placet, quid tibi placet, etc. And placet goes with a word in the what case? Think to yourself. Mihi tibi saluio feminae, the dative case. It is pleasing to someone for something to happen, to do something, or a thing is pleasing to someone. It can be used more personally, sort of like hoc donum mihi placet. This gift pleases me. That's not technically impersonal, although it's still using an impersonal verb. We could say a lot of the times we can take these weird impersonal phrases and put them into nicer sounding English. Instead of saying, it pleases me to receive this present, we can just be like, yo, I'm glad I got this present. Likewise, nobis placet, noticing our dative plural, it is pleasing to us, or, yeah, we like it. Mihi placet, I like it. The only thing is when you translate it that way, you can easily forget about how the construction actually works. And then when you actually try and say it yourself or say something in Latin, you might flip it around a little bit, but whatever you like. So some new verbs that are used impersonally include decet, like it is proper. In other words, if you think like decent, decency, decorum, those are all like showing that you're acting properly and are derivatives of the word decet. And notice that decet, the next one, tidet, and the next one, oportet, these all go with forms like nos, me, and romanos, forms that are in the accusative case. So placet goes with dative case, decet goes with accusative case. And pretty much impersonal verbs either go with one or the other, not both. So you just have to keep in mind which one is which. They're fine enough to recognize, but it can be confusing if you're trying to actually compose sentences or speak in Latin and using them correctly. So nos decet, it is proper for us, i.e., we ought to do such a thing. So instead of using some form of debeo, debemus, we ought, we can say nos decet. And Latin liked these verbs, so they really do show up in ancient authors, which is why it's worth knowing them. So nos decet praemium modesto dare. Is it proper for us to give a reward to Modestus? Should we give a reward to Modestus? I feel like this class is going to have some differing opinions on that, but as it happens, that is in fact an example sentence the book gives us. If we look down at tidet, we get the word tedious from this word, literally to like become tired of something, or more appropriately, kind of like it bores me. I am tired of, or I am bored of, is one of the ways that this can translate. So, me tidet huius vitae. Weird thing that this does is the person that's wearied is in the accusative, but look at that, huius vitae. We actually get a genitive case noun. And we can see that and understand why that would be when we look at the example, I am tired of this life. We might say this life tires me or wearies me, but in the impersonal phrase, this is the construction that we should be using. And for the final example, Romanos numquam oportet hostibus credere. It is never right for Romans to trust the enemy. Dun dun dun. I.e., Romans must never trust the enemy. So a little stronger, perhaps, say than we ought. Decet is like, it's proper, it's right, we should, we ought. And then oportet is like, must not do the thing. Numquam. Or must do the thing. Maybe it is, we must do something. So again, placet going with the dative case, decet, tidet, oportet going with the accusative case. And often, as you're noticing with this perhaps, at least up here, we've got dare, we've got credere. Often when we're talking about things we ought to, should do, things that please us, things that bore us, You have an action sort of in there, and often you'll see that action expressed with an infinitive. It's right to do something. Couple other impersonal verbs not in this list that maybe we have used once or twice before are liket. It is permitted. It's allowed. The word license is related to this. So your license is the thing that gives you permission to drive. Although there's more licenses than just driver's licenses, sure. Liket goes with a dative noun. We see this if we were in a classroom. I have a little sign on the board. Liket ne mihi ire a latrinam. Is it permitted for me to go ad latrinam, to the bathroom? Liket is the word that's used there. And there's also the word painetet, which literally means something causes regret or pain. It causes me regret or pain. And this is often used in the phrase me painetet. It grieves me. It causes me regret, i.e., it's sort of the most, not the most polite way, but one of the common ways that we see that Romans could sort of apologize for something. It causes me pain. I am sorry. Is about as close of an equivalent as we get. So, few impersonal verbs to keep in mind. Maybe take a couple notes for yourself, or just remember to look back at 151 if you see a weird construction. The last three that I want to bring up, although there are certainly more, are about weather and about time of day. So pluit, ningit, ad vesperascit. Pluit means it's raining, ningit means it's snowing, ad vesperascit, it's getting late, it's coming toward evening, literally. It's getting dark. So sometimes you'll see those as well to describe sort of weather, time of day, things that don't technically have a specific subject. So we're going to get some practice now. I will read a question. I might answer it partially, or you might have to answer it yourself, or you might have to define a word, which will force you to go back and just get a little practice and review these. So, first question. Nos ne decet in willis manere nunc? How very timely we are. Because ita nunc nos decet manere in willis. Non decet ira ad locos publicos. Non decet tempus agere cum amicis. Ehel, non decet nos. Necesse est manera in willis. Licetne nobis ad Italiam iter facere? I feel like this is too soon. I feel like this is the worst week to be bringing this up. I hate this week. Sed minime, licetne, I don't need the ne. The ne is just a yes or no question. Minime, non licet nobis ad Italiam, ad revera, ad aliam locum, iter facere. Mihi non plaget. Quid licet nobis facere nunc? Dic mihi. Quid? Quid licet, nope, not livet. Quid licet nobis facere nunc? Non multum. Sed dic mihi aliquid. Another practice. In general, quid te tidet? My answer would be that aliquando, sometimes, may tidet in villa manera, but many other things also may tidet sometimes. Quid te tidet? Quid cibus tibi maxime placet? Socolatum mihi maxime placet. Sed multus cibus mihi maxime placet quoque. Nos decet in willis manere nunc? I feel like I already asked that. I totally did. That was an extra. Ignore that. Nunc ningitne? Answer in a full sentence. In fabula, salviumne decet bellimicum necare? And this is actually a little bit of an opinion question, so try and answer in Latin and maybe explain cur, why. If you bump into someone, what should you say? I.e., normal times, not corona times. You should be going nowhere and bumping into no one right now. Virum oportet aliquo res aufera. Note that aliquo means from someone. So I'm asking, and I could have even said virumne. Virumne oportet aliquo res aufera. Nescio. Dic mihi. Gratias omnes.